Welcome, everyone. I want to thank you if you're joining us live or if you have joined our recording. We want to thank you so much for coming to learn about this amazing voyage of the Vikings cruise with Holland America. We are Suzanne and Steve. You want to say hi, Steve?
Howdy, howdy. Welcome, everybody.
We are the owners of CruiseOne in Show Low, Arizona. So without further ado, let's get going. So what do James Bond, Game of Thrones, Star Wars, Star Trek, and Captain America all have in common? Well, you probably guessed it. They are all places where that all movie franchises that were filmed in Iceland. So these are some of the scenes of the wonderful landscapes in Iceland that you can see. And then what do Iceland, Greenland, and Newfoundland have in common? Well, I'm sure you guessed it from these pictures. They were all explored and settled by the Vikings in the first millennia. So it's a very exciting place to visit, and I'm so glad you came to learn about it. So on tonight's agenda, we're going to talk about an overview of the voyage of the Vikings with the solar eclipse. We're going to unveil the Holland America Pillars of Excellence and why they are such a wonderful cruise line to sail with. And then we're going to talk about our exclusive discounts and amenities. And so get ready. Let's set sail on this wonderful voyage. Now, Steve and I are truly explorers at heart, and we love escorting groups. And we are so excited to let you know that we will be on board this cruise with you to make sure that every aspect of your cruise is exceeding expectations. We have been in business for over a decade. As a matter of fact, we celebrated our 14th anniversary this year. And we are, like I said, explorers of heart. And we use that experience that we have as travelers ourselves to then deliver an exceptional experience to all of our clients. Uh, these are just some of the places we've visited in the last couple of years. So let's just keep going. We're going to talk about the advantages of working with our agency. So one of the main things, if you've got an insider on your behalf, I work very closely with Holland America and sell lots of different group cruises with them. So I know who to call, when and where, and how to get things done at Holland America. You've got all of my expert planning assistance, and I will help with every aspect of your planning, from picking out your room now to planning your air, planning your excursions, everything that you need. I'm here to help. And a phone call is all you need to get in touch with me. I'm always no more than a phone call, a text, or an email away. We pride ourselves on our responsiveness, and we usually get back to people within even minutes of when they've either left a message or sent us an email. So now let's look at this fabulous, fabulous cruise. And I want to highlight something. Most of the pictures that I have included in this presentation, as much as possible, I tried to use my own pictures that I took the last time we were in Iceland. So this is one of my own pictures, and I'll keep going. I'll point those out as we go along. So the voyage of the Vikings, it includes all these amazing places that the Vikings explored and settled. And it includes 3 ports and 2 scenic sailing days in Greenland, 5 ports in Iceland. It is an amazing experience. And then we also visit the Canadian Maritimes. And this area, I have a picture of Captain Cook here because he was one of the first people to map this particular area. And most importantly, we are going to be visiting the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. And there's some beautiful scenery and national parks in those areas as well. So here's a look at the entire itinerary. One of the best things, and I can't stress this enough, is no international flights. The cruise is round trip from Boston, and you go all the way from Boston to Europe and back. And it is, I have to tell you, we have done several very extended cruises on Holland America, and the time goes by so quickly because you're seeing all these beautiful things, having wonderful food and entertainment, and making new friends. It truly is an amazing experience on Holland America. Here's a little bit more detailed look at the itinerary. So you can kind of see where we are. We do have an overnight in Reykjavik. We do have a day at sea during the solar eclipse. And so we'll be in prime viewing area for that total eclipse. We will cruise through Prince Christian Sound, which is one of the most gorgeous areas in all of Greenland, and several ports there, both coming and going, and the same with the Canadian Maritimes. Now, we did a cruise in April of 2024, and we were in Cabo San Lucas, and there was a 95% solar eclipse there. It was an accidental solar eclipse cruise. We had booked the Panama Canal cruise, and then we realized that we were going to be pretty close to the line of totality when we were in Cabo for the day. So we brought our solar eclipse glasses and very much enjoyed that. So now we're super excited to be in the path of totality for this cruise. There is a map of the August 12th, 2026 cruise, and you can see that this area between Iceland and Greenland will be in that path of totality where it will be completely dark. There's a little bit more detailed view of the map and the time. It's going to be between 3:45 Iceland time, 1:45 Greenland time. Somewhere in there, there will be a total eclipse. So it's kind of cool. So in addition to the total eclipse, there is all these wonderful ports of call that we're going to visit along the way. So the first one is right here in the USA, Portland, Maine. It was first settled in 1663. It is a charming seaport town. You can take tours to visit famous Kennebunkport. You can just walk around the town and enjoy things like shops and gallery, or maybe enjoy some of the local lobster. Next, we're going to head on to Sydney, Nova Scotia. It was founded in 1785. It's a small town with a population of 30,000 people. And it is one of the main things Sydney, Nova Scotia is known for is a wonderful music program. And there is a lot of Celtic influence in the music there. There are also a couple scenic drives that you can do in that area. You can visit the Alexander Graham Bell Museum. There's also the wonderful picturesque town that you can explore and walk around. Lots of things to do in this area. Then we'll visit Corner Brook, Newfoundland. And this area was mapped by James Cook. There's a statue of him overlooking the city. Small town population, about 20,000 people. And there's a paper mill that is the major employer. There is lots of things to do. There's food and fresh fish that you can enjoy in Corner Brook. And it's also very close to Grossmoor National Park. And that's what we did when we were on this cruise the last time, is we took a tour that took us out to the beautiful scenic areas. We saw the large mountains, the interesting geological formations. And if you're lucky, you might see some moose or some black bear in the area. And again, this is also a place where you can do food tasting. You can visit some of the Captain Cook historic sites. Lots of things to do in Corner Brook. Red Bay, Labrador. Small little town. It grows during the summer because people come up there and camp. And we were actually greeted at the pier by the mayor of Red Bay. It was once a whaling city, so there's a whaling museum. There's a beautiful scenic coastal drive that you can do. There's tours. You can stroll along the Red Bay, and you can kind of see what it used to look like then and now. It really is a beautiful area in this part of the Maritimes. So here's a couple of highlights from Canada from our last time that we were there. These are some of my own pictures. You can see us sailing through the beautiful scenic areas at sunset. Red Bay, Labrador here. This is Grossmoor National Park. And then there is that giant fiddle that marks the music hall in Sydney, Nova Scotia. So from there, we're going to go to Paumoet, Greenland. It used to be called Frederikshavn, but they have made a really good effort in Greenland to give all the names of the towns back to the native Greenlandic or Inuit names that were the original names of the town. These towns are very colorful, and it's one that you can explore on foot, maybe enjoy a guided walk. And then from there, we're going to go on to Nanortalik, Greenland, and that again is at that southern tip. One of the things that I love about Greenland is that every little town has a museum. And in the museum, they display things like these Greenlandic costumes. They have kayaks. They show there's an old blubber factory there. There's just so many interesting things to see there. These old, beautiful churches. Again, this is a great place to explore as a walking tour, Nanortalik, Greenland. And then we're going to cruise Prince Christian Sound. This is one of the most beautiful scenic cruising experiences that you can have. It's this dramatic fjord with all these mountains coming out. There's even a little small fishing village along the way. It almost looks like like a little miniature village because you see it from far away and it's so colorful. And we even saw some kayakers that were out and about just outside the village. There's also several tidewater glaciers in Prince Christian Sound, and the cruise ship will make an effort to go up and see some of these, get the ship pretty close to a couple of them. And again, here's some of my highlights from the last time we were in Greenland. You see that beautiful Greenlandic costume, some of the interesting buildings, and again, another set of tidewater glaciers there in Prince Christian Sound. So then we head on to the next portion of this cruise, which is Iceland. And I have to tell you, there's so much to see and do. Reykjavik is the home of the first permanent Viking settlement in Iceland, and it was named for the steam from the local hot springs, which the name Reykjavik basically means smoky cove or smoking area. Here's some pictures of downtown Reykjavik. It is famous. It hosted the summit between Reagan and Gorbachev. It is the center of art and culture for Iceland, and it's the gateway to many beautiful sites like the Golden Circle. Here's some of that beautiful art and culture that you see in Reykjavik, like this Viking sculpture. The Blue Lagoon is the famous spa that's just outside of Reykjavik, and there is that beautiful, it's a unique Icelandic design. It's almost kind of brutalist, but it's mimicking the basalt columns that you see in some volcanic islands, and that is the beautiful cathedral in downtown Reykjavik. The Golden Circle tour is something I highly recommend if you have never been to Iceland. You will see this geyser that goes off about every 8 to 12 minutes, and sometimes even more frequently than that. This amazing waterfall that's called the Golden Falls or Gullfoss. And then there is a place where you can walk between the two tectonic plates that are splitting apart into Europe and North America in Iceland. There's a map so you can kind of see where everything is. A lot of these things are further afield from the city of Reykjavik, so you would need to take a tour that's going to take you outside of town to be able to see these things. You can book them independently or through Holland America. Here's the South Coast tour. This is an absolutely amazing tour. It is an all-day tour because you're in a bus and you're driving, but they make lots of stops and you get a lot of time at these beautiful waterfall sites. This kind of shows you where it is in relationship to Reykjavik. So this is, again, the South Coast tour. Now, there's lots to see and do in Iceland, and here's some of my highlights from the last time we were in Iceland. There is a museum in downtown Reykjavik that is basically the history from the early Norse culture to the 20th and the 21st century. That is a wonderful Icelandic sheepdog that you see up on the side of that sod house. Whale watching is another great thing you can do in Iceland. And then another thing that Iceland is really famous for and so wonderful is the Icelandic horses. And they are just so beautiful. They actually have two additional gaits that most breeds of horses do not have. So from Iceland, then we're going to head over to Norway. And we're going to visit this beautiful fjord in Norway. There you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. It's just absolutely beautiful. This is kind of going back to the Viking homelands when you go to this part of the world. And then from there, we'll go to Rotterdam. And this is Holland America's homeland. This is where they started, was in the Netherlands. And of course, you can see things like the wonderful modern buildings of Rotterdam, like the market hall, I don't know, it's kind of upside down cube houses, apartments that were built in the late 20th century. And then there's a couple parts that were rebuilt and kind of look more old, but most of Rotterdam is modern because after World War II, they wanted to rebuild it as a modern city. But it's also the gateway to other parts of the Netherlands where you can see some of that little bit more traditional Dutch architecture. You can visit places like Amsterdam, Kinderdijk, The Hague, the Royal Delft factory. So lots of things you can do from Rotterdam. And I do believe we overnight there. So you get two touring opportunities, two chances to see different things from Rotterdam. Then we're going to head to Douglas in the Isle of Man. And I'm so excited as we took a cruise this year and it was not supposed to go to Isle of Man. It was supposed to go to a port near Dublin. I'd been to Ireland before. I got to go to Isle of Man. It is such an interesting place because it is not part of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and England. It is, and wait, Great Britain and Northern Ireland. It is a United Kingdom protectorate, but it's not part of it. They are not part of Parliament. It's just kind of interesting. They are their own independent economic zone. So it draws on its unique history. Their logo has three legs that I kind of said, well, it looks like it should be attached to somebody. Why does it have three legs? And it means wherever you throw me, I will land. So that their symbol is of their resilience. So unique British culture right there in between Ireland and the larger island of Great Britain. Then we will go to Ireland, to Belfast. And there's so much to see and do in Belfast. You can do historic tours of some of the textile factories. You can explore the cathedral quarter. You go to the Titanic Museum. That's what I did the last time I was there. That was very interesting. It's growing as a gourmet food destination, and it has a warm, welcoming atmosphere that kind of defies those old stereotypes about the strife in Belfast. You might want to go further afield, and one of the most beautiful drives you can do in all of Ireland is the Antrim coast. And you will see things like the Giant's Causeway, the Dunluce Castle. There's a rope bridge you can see along the way. It truly is a beautiful coastline, and it is from Belfast up to the northernmost part of Ireland. And a lot of Game of Thrones was filmed in this area. So again, we're back to that Game of Thrones theme. Beautiful, beautiful part of Northern Ireland. And then we're going to go back to Iceland. So we're going to head back. We'll visit the beautiful town of Seyðisfjord. Now, we were just there this summer, and we did hike up to this amazing waterfall. Of course, we saw the lovely town. There's all kinds of gift shops and little pubs and places in town. It is really a welcoming place, and I could see that they were doing a little bit more infrastructure to make visitors getting around even easier. So by the time we get there next year, I think that the road that goes up to this waterfall will be there's going to be more of a hiking path. So it's going to be a nice place to visit. And there's a picture of us the first time we hiked up to that waterfall. It really is beautiful. And this is one of several waterfalls that you see along this walk. So if you are up for hiking, it is a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. Then we head to Húsavík, and it is one of the northernmost towns in Iceland. And if you've seen that silly Will Ferrell movie, Fire Saga, Eurovision, the story of Fire Saga, this is the hometown of the two main characters in that movie. Húsavík's a great place to see puffins. There is a folk museum tour that you can visit. You can sample some of the traditional Icelandic foods and see this is Iceland's most heavy flowing waterfall called Dedifoss. The most water flows down this waterfall. Húsavík also used to be a whaling town, but now, of course, people come to whale watch. And again, I mentioned it was the hometown of those characters from that Will Ferrell movie, which is very funny, very funny. Then we're headed to Grundarfjörður. Now, the mountain and the waterfalls that you see behind me, that is Grundarfjörður. And there's several things to do. This is called the Snæfellsnes Peninsula. And excuse me if my Icelandic pronunciation is wrong. But this waterfall and this mountain, there is a flat path that goes from town. It's called Kirkjelfelfoss. And it's a beautiful place. You can get this wonderful scenic picture of this. Here's some of the pictures that I took the last time we were there. And just an amazing, amazing place. Of course, there's tours that you can take that are further afield. But if you just want to go and get this picture from that spot, it's about a 2-mile walk from the cruise port. Solar eclipse will be the next day. So I'm suggesting you pack your solar eclipse glasses. I don't know if Holland America will be giving them away. I would think they would be because they're advertising this as a solar eclipse cruise. We brought our own for the Cabo cruise when we took these pictures because we weren't sure if they were going to have glasses on board. And we were glad we did because we got to watch it all day. It was pretty cool. We're going to head back through Prince Christian Sound. At least that's the plan. It is possible that we could do it one way and not the other. But the plan is to go through twice. That's what's on the itinerary as of now. Then we'll go to another one of those southern towns, Kortok, Greenland. This town has been inhabited for 4,300 years. So it was inhabited by different cultures over different times. There were the Paleo Inuits, the Vikings, the Thule, which are kind of the early predecessors of what we now call the Inuit, and then even the Danes. So lots of different cultures have made this their home. We learned the expression last time we were in Greenland is a good place to live will always be a good place to live. So that's why you sometimes see settlements from many different cultures in the same area over and over again. This is a cute little small town, but there are a little bit more tours that you can take. There's a lake you can hike to. There's several museums. It's another wonderful thing about Greenlandic towns is that every little town has its own little museum, and it's such a wonderful thing to do and to learn about the local culture. Here's some pictures that I took from there last time we were there. Just really, really beautiful little towns, colorful buildings. I can't say enough about how wonderful it is to visit Greenland because it's so close and yet European and yet Inuit. So lots of different cultural influences in Greenland. So then we're headed back to Canada. We're going to visit St. Anthony, Newfoundland. And what is most unique about this is where they have found Viking settlement ruins. There's lots of icebergs in Wales, little small town, 2,200 people. You get an idea of what the little town looks like. There's history tours, so you can do dining with the Vikings, go see the ancient ruins. There you can take some scenic boat rides around here, guided trail hikes, lots to do in this area. Then we head down to St. John's, Newfoundland. And St. John's, Newfoundland is, look at those colorful buildings. It's just beautiful color buildings. And I'm going to give you a little tip. If you hike up this hill, when you get to the top of this hill, there is a beautiful Irish Catholic basilica up there. Just an amazing place to visit. And the convent that's next to it houses a Italian sculptor's masterwork called the Veiled Virgin. You can look that up. I can tell you more about it if you're interested. But if the convent is open, you just ring the doorbell and ask to go see the statue. And it's an amazing, beautiful, beautiful piece of art. Halifax, Nova Scotia. So another one of these amazing maritime towns in this part of Canada. It, of course, is famous for Scottish history. This beautiful lighthouse is in Peggy's Cove. We did a tour that took us out of town. We went through some beautiful like suburban and coastal areas and then went to Peggy's Cove and had a lobster roll and visited the art shops and the galleries. That was a wonderful trip to take. We also visited the Titanic cemetery. And this is a cemetery where they have a lot of the people who did not survive the Titanic disaster are buried there. And here's a couple more pictures from my highlights of when we were in
Veiled Virgin.
Yep, there's the Veiled Virgin statue for you to see. There is a picture of me with my Newfoundland. I never found a Labrador to take a picture with in Labrador, but I got a picture with a Newfoundland in Newfoundland. And there's that beautiful cathedral and Peggy's Cove. So we're going to be on this ship for an awfully long time, 35 days, which I have to tell you, Holland America makes the experience so immersive, it's going to go by like that. We just spent 28 days in June on Holland America, and we spent 28 days in May of last year. And it does go by so quickly when you are on their ships because there's so much to do. Now, this is the Zuiderdam. We have been on the, so Steve and I have personally been on the Zuiderdam and the Westerdam, but there are two more ships. There is the Zaandam and the Oosterdam, and they all mean north, south, east, and west in Dutch. And they're all sister ships. They're very just the right size ships. They have 11 decks, just under 2,000 passengers. And because of their medium size, they can take you to places that the bigger ships can't go. So just the right size ship for exploring. And then on board, you're going to get that wonderful Holland America experience with all the pillars that they are known for, including music, food, service. And we'll talk about that in this next slide. So first of all, Holland America is for explorers, people who like to go to destinations that they wouldn't otherwise visit. And that is one of the beautiful things about this itinerary. With it being 35 nights, you go to so many different places and different places to explore. It's a great cruise line for food lovers, music lovers. They have renowned service and spacious ships, and I'll go into a little more detail. So in terms of exploring, if you like seeing amazing scenery, wildlife, visiting smaller ports of call like the Isle of Man or that fjord that we're going to visit in Norway, Holland America is going to take you there, and they are going to give you a fantastic experience in each of the ports. And then the food. So Holland America has a whole entire culinary council, and the chefs do kind of rotate in and out, but these famous chefs design their global menu. And so it's all really thought out. They have very fresh food. They have a fresh food program curated by Matsuhara Morimoto. He even has some of his own special recipes that are available on the ship. The food experience, I can't speak enough about how good it is on Holland America. Such a wide variety. Here's a picture of a Lido marketplace on one of their ships where they have different food stations with different themes. So you're always able to kind of find something that you're interested in. One day you might choose the home style where they have meatloaf or fried chicken, and one day you might choose the Asian or the Italian style. But they have all these different stations that have a wide variety of food, so you're never limited to just a simple menu. They also have two specialty dining experiences on the ship. They have Canaletto, which is their Italian bistro, and they have the Pinnacle Grill, which is their classic steakhouse. And these are some of my favorite dishes that are to be had in both of those places. They also have a wonderful music program on Holland America. They are going to, on this particular ship, they are going to have either the Rolling Stone Rock Room or the B.B. King Blues Club. And I think they've been more and more doing the Rolling Stone Rock Room, which does a wide variety of music, not just blues, but including blues. So they do pop, country, disco, classic rock, a little bit of everything in the Rolling Stone Rock Room. And then they also have the Billboard on board, which is their sing-along piano bar. They will have a classical, usually it's a trio now, or sometimes it's a quartet that will do classical concerts early in the evening. So again, lots of different variety of entertainment. And then they have their guests. I'm sorry, Steve?
They have a jazz band in Ocean too.
Yes, that's right. They do have the jazz, it's usually a jazz trio or quartet, depending on who they have contracted. They also have guest performers. One of our favorites, and I didn't put it in this presentation, but they had a American clogging group that did all kinds of great clog dancing performances. They performed twice on our 28-night cruise, and that was one of my favorites. This is a group that happens to do like a tribute to boy bands. So they have a wide variety of these variety acts that come on and off the ship and join the ship and do a couple of shows and then leave. So on the 35 nights, we're not going to have the same entertainers over and over again. We're going to get a wide variety of entertainers coming and going. And that makes for great entertainment in the evening. There's always something, it's about 45 minutes show, and it can be really, really a fun experience to go see the entertainment. And of course, Holland is known for their wonderful service. We're going to be on board the ship for 35 days. We are going to get to know our waiters and our bartenders and our cabin stewards, and they are going to be exceeding our expectations and anticipating our expectations. So they do a really, really wonderful job of making everything very personalized just for you. Here's a look at some of the beautiful spaces on the Zuiderdam. They do have a big 180 degrees observation lounge. They have a outdoor pool with a retractable cover. They have, a lot of the public spaces on these I call them the directional ships, have been completely remodeled. So they're very bright and new looking. And here's a look at what your typical cabin is going to look like on the ship. So plenty of room for about on a balcony cabin. And then this is one of the bars. So you can see that even though this is a little bit older ship, the spaces are all modernized and very, very pleasing to the eye. And there's a lively atmosphere on Holland America. Some people tell me Holland America is only for old people, but after experiencing how lively it can be on our several recent cruises, I would say that Holland America is for people of all ages. You're only as old as you feel, and Holland America has a little something for everyone, where you can be as active or as relaxed as you want. And we have one couple that's already booked on our group. And the wife in this couple, she uses a walker because she's having some trouble with her back. And they were actually going to do 2 shorter cruises and have to fly between the 2. And the client called me up and he said, you know, Suzanne, once we get on the ship, Mary, his wife, does so well because they take such good care of her. And even though she has to use her walker, it's no trouble for her to get around on the ship. And so he said, we don't want to do the overseas flight. We want to do that 35-night cruise where we just fly to Boston and then we are good to go for 35 days. So keep that in mind. You'll notice I'm wearing my orange shirt. We have the orange picture here. They do have a wonderful evening that's kind of fun called Orange Night. And you wear your orange because it's the traditional Dutch colors. So what's included in your cruise fare? So a lot of what I've showed you is going to be included. All your accommodations, your fine dining in the main dining room, your casual dining in the Lido. They have a wonderful gym with cardio and strength equipment. They have in-room movies. They have movies in theater. Those are all included. Cooking demonstrations, enrichment lectures, an array of activities. You can have dance lessons, games, trivia, sports like basketball and pickleball and ping pong. And then, of course, that nightly entertainment that I talked about in the theater and in the different nightclubs with live music, all included with the price of your cruise. Then your standard beverages like juice with breakfast, iced tea, brewed coffee, ice water, those are all included. Room service is included at no extra charge, and they even have an afternoon tea that is also included. So what's extra? So gratuities for the crew are extra. I think I need to update the slide. I believe it's $16 per person per day for the standard, and then I want to say it's 18 for suites. But gratuities are extra. Anything like a spa service, salon services, your transfers, alcohol, of course, gambling, that's not included. You're gambling your own money. Your air, now the air that you breathe is included, but your flights to Boston are not included. The specialty dining's an extra charge, specialty coffee, Wi-Fi, shore excursions. So, and there's a couple things in the gym, like some boot camp classes, yoga and Pilates, that do have an extra fee. But if you choose to add the Have It All program, it's $60 per person per day, and it adds a lot of the things that are extras. We've still got the Have It All Plus, so it does include the prepaid gratuities, which is great. It includes 3 nights of specialty dining. It includes your surf Wi-Fi package, and then alcoholic beverages. Yeah, that's the premium Wi-Fi. Because it's plus, you get the premium Wi-Fi and the premium alcohol package. So that's the good thing about the Have It All Plus, is it has more of the top level inclusions. Laundry is not included, and there's no self-service laundry. So $35 a bag, all you can fit in there. Or this is what we do when we take a longer cruise. For $8.50 per day, that's per cabin, not per person, you can send out as many bags as you want. So every other day we're filling up a bag and sending it out. That way you don't have to pack quite so many clothes for your 35-day adventure. So now this is my better slide that talks about all the inclusions with the Have It All Plus. And I'll kind of go, this is the main one, is the free prepaid gratuities are included when you book early. So you need to book as soon as possible to make sure that the plus is still on there, because it costs the same to add Have It All as it does to add Have It All Plus, and Have It All Plus includes a lot more. You're going to get a low price guarantee. It includes a shore excursion credit, $300 per person that you can put towards shore excursion, premium Wi-Fi, elite beverage package, specialty dining. So it really is Have It All, and it makes your cruise so much more enjoyable. I really do recommend it. So here's a look at the different ways, because you can book directly with Holland America for what they call their Advantage fare, and it doesn't include this. And then it's just $60 per person per day more to add all these inclusions. Our CruiseOne exclusive group rate and promotional rates do not have the Have It All on there, but you can add it again, just like you would to the Advantage fare for $60 per person per day. And you still come out way ahead on your pricing and what you save. So it just depending on which cruise and what you book, you can get tremendous savings with our rates. So I know everybody wants to know, well, how much does this cost? Well, if you think about it, it's 35-day cruise. So that is like 5 7-day cruises. So it actually, when you look at the price and everything that's included, it comes out pretty good. So here's the Holland America direct price with no perks, and then with the Have It All Plus, and then our CruiseOne exclusive rates. So we have a no perk rate that's $280 per person, less than the Holland America direct rate. And I've used this as an example. There's several categories that we can book for you. I just picked these as examples. And then there's also the Have It All Plus rate with the CruiseOne. So again, a nice savings, $280 per person over Holland America Direct. And then category K, if you need to save money and have an interior room, I have got a really good deal on that. The no perk rate is $95.29, and then with the plus, it's $11,629 per person. So it ends up being a really good value to book that. I have one cabin available at that rate, and then I have some others at pretty good rates. So there's some pretty good pricing on this. Yeah, did I have that bad math?
It's like $1,200, not $880.
Okay, we'll double check it. Is it per person? We'll double check it. Sometimes I put these together early in the morning. I don't do good math. So additional information. So we're excited to let you know that we have a special treat for you. If you book with us, we're going to treat you to a sea day lunch at the Pinnacle Grill, and you can have steaks, seafood, and more. It is almost identical to the evening menu. So that's a wonderful sit-down experience, nice fine dining for lunch on one of those sea days. And then there's also, we're going to treat you to dinner for 2 at the Canaletto Grill. So that fantastic Italian food. So whether you book Have It All or not, you're still going to get to have at least 2 specialty dining experiences with Holland America. And it really is wonderful. So I'm very quickly going to go through what else we do, because we're not just one-trick ponies. We don't just do Holland America. We work with a lot of different cruise lines. So we're going to share with you either escorted or super good deal cruises. We do have a solar eclipse cruise on Celebrity. This one includes Spain and Portugal in the itinerary. It's a 14-day on their beautiful Celebrity Apex. And you can see the prices there. That is the total price per cabin, not per person. And it includes drinks and Wi-Fi and a refundable deposit. So if you're interested in that, give me a call. We also have a couple other Holland America cruises that include the solar eclipse. So if you're interested in me getting you any pricing on either one of these, give me a call again. I can get you full pricing on those. Have you ever wanted to go to Antarctica on an expedition? We have several opportunities. We're escorting a group in 2026. Now is the time to book. They're having a really good 20% off sale. So I can still get you great prices on this in February of 2026. We're also going to the Arctic in 2027. We're doing Svalbard, and I have a whole webinar about that. This is a place where you're going to see polar bears and ice and glaciers. It's an amazing place to visit. And then we also have several itineraries going to Antarctica in 2027 for which we've taken out some great group rates that are money saving. These are small 100-passenger expedition ships, so that's why you see the prices where they are, because it is a very personalized expedition experience. And again, here's that other itinerary that goes to Antarctica. If you would like to just do scenic sailing and not an expedition to Antarctica, we have an opportunity with Holland America on their 70-day grand voyage that includes South America and Antarctica. And we also have a shorter 14-night with Celebrity. And those prices, the price you see from Celebrity does include their drinks and Wi-Fi package. We are escorting a group in May in 2026. Again, we have a webinar. We did one back in February of this year, and we also did one just earlier this week. So that would be the one you probably will watch as the more recent one. And you can do this Baltics cruise. And then we have this amazing land tour with Globus Tours that you can add on to the end of it and do a land tour of Norway. We also do river cruises. And we have got one coming up. I still have some availability. It is it's like less than a month away, but there's availability. I can get you booked on it. It is a wonderful wine tasting cruise on the lower Danube. We also have an amazing romantic ride with Lucerne and Lake Como. You can find our webinar on YouTube for that. And we have availability in August of next year on 2 different dates at great discount prices. Columbia and Snake Rivers. We've had clients do American Cruise Lines and had nothing but raves about it. So we are escorting a group in May of 2027. We do have some great group rates on that cruise as well. And just announced, we are doing Avalon Waterways River Cruise Christmas Markets in 2027. These cruises always sell out. So if you're interested in Christmas markets for 2027, now is the time to book. The 28-night Alaska round trip from Seattle. We do have some great prices on that, and Have It All Plus, as I'm recording this webinar, is still available for that cruise. So it's great because you can get the gratuities and the premium drinks and Wi-Fi still added for just that $60 per person per day. If you're interested in this, we did this cruise in June of this year. I could tell you it was absolutely fabulous. So no downside to taking this cruise. And then in October of 2027, we are doing Holland America's Chasing Northern Lights cruises. These go up to Norway during Northern Lights season and all the way up into the Arctic Circle and visit some of those remote villages in the northern part of Norway. It can also be booked as a 14-day or a 28-day. The 28-day includes the transatlantic, so you only have to take one long-haul flight overseas. The beauty of that. In October of 26, if you want to see Greece and the Mediterranean, there's no better way to do it than with these 2 back-to-back small ship cruises. We will put a custom package together for you for the days in between in Athens. And I have to tell you, you will have a wonderful time on both of these small ships. Windstar's about 330 people, and Azimar's about 750. Really, really unique boutique cruise experience. So we hope that this little presentation got you excited about this amazing voyage of the Vikings. We hope you'll be joining us on this cruise. There's extremely limited space on this. So if you're interested, give me a call. I will find you the best deal and the best cabin, location, everything for your needs. But we got to get you booked soon because this cruise is coming up on selling out. You can call us at our 520 number, 310-0396. I also have our contact information here on this page. We've got my email, sklasen@cruiseone.com, my toll-free number. You can visit our YouTube page if you want to check out any of those other special cruises that we're having. We even have a deal of the day, which is all short videos, like 5 minutes long, with some cruises where we have phenomenal, better than direct pricing. So again, thank you everyone for coming. I guess I should ask if there's any questions, or Steve, are there any questions in the chat box?
No, chat box is empty right now.
Okay. I try to be really thorough, so I hope I've covered all your questions and answered, any questions. Of course, if there's anything that I haven't answered, please give me a call. I'm happy to consult with you. That's my whole philosophy as a business owner, is a very consultative process when I'm helping my clients plan their dream vacation. So please reach out to us. We'd love to help you. We'll go ahead and end this recording. And again, thank you so much for joining us either live or via the recording. Hope to see you in the Canadian Maritimes, Greenland, and Iceland.